On a gray morning in March 1850, a colored slave named Liz Spocott dreamed of the future, and it was not pleasant. She dreamed of Negroes driving horseless carriages on shiny rubber wheels with music booming throughout, and fat black children who smoked odd-smelling cigars and walked around with pistols in their pockets and murder in their eyes. She dreamed of Negro women appearing as flickering images in powerfully lighted boxes that could be seen in sitting rooms far distant, and colored men dressed in garish costumes like children, playing odd sporting games and bragging like drunkards, every bit of pride, decency, and morality squeezed clean out of them. Liz had this dream in captivity, just as the flickering light of her own life was disappearing, and when she awoke from it, realized with a gasp that it was some kind of apparition, and she had to find its true meaning in this world before she died. This brought her more grief than her condition at the time, which was not pleasant, in that she'd been lying for 3 weeks, badly wounded, imprisoned in an attic on Maryland's eastern shore. She had taken a musket ball to the head at Ewell's Creek, just west of New Market. It was 5 a.m. when she was hit, running full stride on a brisk March morning behind 3 other slave women who had made a desperate dash for freedom after 2 days of keeping a hair's breadth from 2 determined slave catchers who had chased them, ragged and exhausted, in a zigzag pattern through the foggy swamps and marshland that ran from Bishop's Head Island up through Dorchester County. They were nearly caught twice, the last by inches. The 4 saved by a white farmer's wife who warned them at the last minute that a party with horses, dogs, and rifles awaited them nearby. They had thanked the women profusely, and then, inexplicably, she demanded a dime. They could not produce one, and she screamed at them, the noise attracting the slave catchers, who charged the front of the house while the women leaped out the back windows and sprinted for Ewell's Creek. Liz never even heard the shot, just felt a rush of air around her face, then felt the cool waters of the creek surrounding her and working their way down her throat. She tried to rise, could not, and was hastily dragged to shallow water by the other women, who took one look at the blood gushing out near her temple and said, "Goodbye, child. You free now." They gently laid her head on the bank of the muddy creek and ran on, the sound of barking dogs and splashing feet echoing into the empty forest, the treetops of which she could just make out as the fog lifted its hand over the dripping swamp and the sun began its long journey over the Maryland sky. Not 2 minutes later, the first dog arrived. He was a small white and brown mongrel who ran up howling, his tail stiff, and ran past her, and then glanced at her and skidded to a stop as if he'd stumbled upon her by accident. If Liz weren't shot and panicked, she would have remembered to laugh. But as it was, sitting in water up to her waist, she felt her face folding into the blank expression of nothingness she had spent the better part of 19 years shaping. That time-worn, empty Negro expression she had perfected over the years, whereby everything, especially laughter, was halted and checked, double-checked for leaks, triple-checked for quality control, all haughtiness, arrogance, independence, sexuality exercised, stamped out and vanquished so that no human emotion could emerge. "A closed face is how you survive," her Uncle Hewitt had told her. "The heart can heal, but a closed face is a shield," he said. But he died badly too. Besides, what was the point? She was caught. The hound approached and she felt her lips curl into a smile, her face folding into submission, and thought bitterly, "This is how I'm going to die."
This is the end of side 1 of this record. Please now turn it over for the second side.